If you could just tell me about your family's background and how they came to the United States.
Well, they came to the United States, both sides of my family, around the late 1700s, early 1800s. They were both from Spain. On my mother's side, they came to what is now the state of New Mexico. On my father's side, they came to what is now the state of Arizona. At that time, it all belonged to the Spanish Empire. So they came here, basically, they were Jews that were converted to Catholicism during the Inquisition, and after so many years of living in Spain, they decided to migrate to this country because it belonged to the Spanish Empire. Basically, they were given land to basically to support themselves, and that was in the state of New Mexico and Arizona. They came to California. My mother's father came to California in 1919.
Oh, wow.
And he always said he was born in the territory of New Mexico. He wasn't born in the state of New Mexico, which he wasn't. My father's family, his father came to California in the 1920s.
Okay. So the family way back when were immigrants from Spain.
Right.
Is that right? And then
Right.
migrated from New Mexico up here to California.
To California, to Los Angeles.
To Los
where
Angeles.
They came to the big city.
Now, why did they come there?
My grandfather's sister had come out here to California.
Mm-hmm.
And she told him about all of the opportunities that there were here in the city of Los Angeles. They were primarily farmers, cattle ranchers, with the land that had been granted to them all these years. They were farmers, and they were cattle ranchers is what they were. My father's father was a hog rancher. So they came to California basically to make more money.
Okay, so let's talk about that issue. There's still a lot of people migrating to California, people immigrating to California to work as farmers or in the agriculture industry. Talk about that, immigration.
Well, it is basically, as I was told as a child, the land of opportunity. You know, there's nothing that you can't do here to improve yourself, to make a way of life. My parents, during the Depression, worked in the fields here in California, okay? And my father's father worked as a truck driver during the Depression due to the fact that he started a hog ranch here in the Saugus Newhall area in the state of California, but then the price of hogs went down so low that basically he slaughtered everything and then took a job as a truck driver.
Oh my goodness. But a lot of immigrants come here, we were talking about earlier, illegal immigrants are here to work. And could you talk a little bit about that and why you think they would come to California to work?
Because they can't support themselves in the countries that they come from. And here, this truly is the land of opportunity. The wages here what you can make in 1 hour here, that would take them to make in a whole day. So naturally, especially in the agricultural industry, people can come here and work and make the money, as well as support the families that they have back in their own home countries.
Yeah. Well, it's a controversial issue right now, illegal immigration, that kind of thing. So what would you say about illegal immigrants in this country right now?
I think they are hardworking people. They contribute to the economy through the taxes that they pay, which is, of course, through sales taxes, through the property that they buy here, the businesses that they own and that they run. So they definitely contribute to California as a whole. Certainly, if all of the illegal immigrants were to leave here, it would be disastrous due to the fact that the money that is generated by these people would definitely be gone.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting you say. I was speaking with a gentlelady earlier today in Berkeley about the language barrier. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe comment on if you think there is a barrier there, or if you think there needs to be a unified language, or...
Looking at my own education, there was no such thing as bilingual programs. We always spoke English at home. I had to learn to speak Spanish in school. Only because my family had been here so many years. My family, both sides, felt that we were Americans. Even though there were stories that were passed down from when it went from Spain to the Mexican Republic, from Mexico to the United States. My grandfather told me, his father told him, we didn't have a choice. We were, when this land became a part of America, we were Americans, and we better damn well speak English. So there was no bilingual programs. As far as a barrier is concerned, it's a problem. And the reason I think part of it is a problem because we've created this problem for ourselves here. No good deed goes unpunished. We set up bilingual programs. We set up many things in this state to make it easier for Spanish-speaking people to be able to navigate within this society. But I feel that they made cripples out of them by not enforcing this thing of English spoken in the schools, the stores, wherever. Now we have Spanish-speaking bank tellers. We have Spanish-speaking people in the stores. So in a way, I think we did these people a disservice in some respects.
What about, you've probably seen some of the legislation that they've been trying to push through Congress recently. Do you agree with some of the things, or are you familiar with the legislation that they've been trying to push through?
It depends on what you talk about as far as legislation that's trying to be, that's trying to be passed. Again, this country created a problem, and now they don't know how to deal with it. Certainly, I think now that the legislation that was proposed is not going to be passed, but I think some of it was unrealistic, thinking that people needed to go back to their own home countries for a year. They needed to pay fines. They forget that illegal immigrants, their children were born here. Their grandchildren were born here. They're not going to leave this country to go back to El Salvador or Mexico or wherever they came from. Because of that legislation.
What do you think about that? I mean, as you've probably seen in the news, they're separating families even and sending some back to their home countries and leaving some here. What do you think about that separation?
I'm not in favor of it. Here, you're an American if you're born in this country. And I think because people have children in this country, they're American citizens, so these people need to be here with their families. You cannot separate these families this way. I just don't agree with that.